previous episode, we started the repair on this car. We had a little rust spot in our fenders. You can see here the area we're trying to fix. You can see a little bit of rust, and here we're using rust converter. That chemical changes rust back into metal. So per the instructions, if you go onto your paint, just remove it. And in our case, we're just using some paper towels to remove it. But our time remains, right? We just wanted to show you. Another 10 minutes have passed, and now once again, we're going to make sure that all of the chemical is not left in the car. Excellent. A little more of sanding. And again, as you can see, we thought was a hole. There is no hole there. This is metal. And you can hear it. But better be safe than sorry, right? There is nothing flaky here that will allow us to dry it so we can put Bondo, right? All right, let's prepare the Bondo and we're going to show you that step. The first application of Bondo does not have to be perfect. Once it dries, sand it and apply it again and make it smoother. And with the final sanding, you will be able to have a very, very good result, as you will see in the end of our video. And we'll take you very fast on it. We treat it with a rust converter that makes the rust back to metal. We made sure there were no loose rust, and then we put Bondo that was fortified with metal on it, so it feels small imperfections. Then we used primer that was also fortified with metal. And you can see it looks almost perfect. And this is just with the primer. We have not painted it yet. All we did is make several passes with the primer with a lot of very light sanding in between. You would never know exactly where the damage was. And again, we did that with very, very minimal. Very pleased with this outcome. And then now we're ready to finish with the final color. Duplicolor is what I've always used. You don't have to use that. There are many companies that make, but I don't know if you can see it. This is specifically for Subaru, because even the same color in different companies is different, right? For example, both these cars are the same color technically, but they're not, right?
Right.
Now you can see we have a pretty decent repair here, as you can see, but the primer was almost the right color, not quite.
Yeah. It stands out a little bit, and you can see it's been repaired.
So now we're going to do the final painting. Ready? I'll be damned. What are your thoughts, Lupita?
Looks pretty good. You need to touch up a little bit more on this side because of the overspray from before.
Well, but when it dries, that will go away.
Yeah.
And a couple of things. You notice we only cover the wheel.
Right.
Contrary to popular belief, sprays like this have very little overspray, right? And you can see even the black bag has very little paint on it, right?
So you'll probably have to come back and do another coat of this.
Another coat, but I'm very pleased. What do you think?
Yeah.
This
Looks
is
really good.
In fact, that might look better than the rest of the paint when it is dry. And from where we are, the repair is not even visible, right? A couple of things I didn't do right, and I'm going to point them out.
Okay.
The rust was put because for some reason there was some damage here, and I should have used a hammer and fix it. That is more visible now. That's really the main reason. The main way you can find where the damage was is this thing, right?
Right.
Because it is visible. And that was stupid on my part. I didn't do it, but I'm not going to redo it just for that, if that makes any sense, right?
Okay. But now we're going to let this paint dry, your favorite activity.
Yeah, and we're going to do a couple of more coats. You never do one coat, right? Again, Duplicolor did not sponsor us. We bought that with our own money, and it's worth having one of those for small touch-ups, right? For example, we didn't use virtually anything on this. This is full still. So for as long as we own the car, and actually even if I sell the car, I might give it because it doesn't match anything else.
Right, because it matches this car.
Right.
Okay.